Wraith by William Toney. Chapter 22. Threads Tightening. Aaron and Lilah, the confrontation. Aaron sat on the edge of the couch in his dimly lit apartment, his head resting in his hands. The air between him and Lilah was thick with tension, her determined gaze fixed on him from across the room. "You've been avoiding me," Lilah said, her voice steady but with a trace of hurt. "Ever since I woke up. You come and go at odd hours, you won't answer my questions, and you barely even look at me. What's going on, Aaron?" Aaron sighed deeply, lifting his head to meet her eyes. "Lilah, it's not what you think. I've just been trying to keep you safe." "Safe from what?" she pressed, stepping closer. "I'm not fragile, Aaron. I survived what happened to me. I just want to understand." Aaron hesitated, the words heavy on his tongue. How could he tell her everything? That the power he wielded wasn't just a tool, but a burden. That the choices he had made in the shadows weren't clean or simple. That he was no longer the man she thought she knew. "I've been cleaning up some of the city's problems," he began cautiously, choosing his words with care. "Since you were hurt, I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. I had to make sure it wouldn't happen again." "Cleaning up?" Lilah echoed, crossing her arms. "What does that even mean?" "It means," Aaron said, his voice tight, "that the people who did this to you, who hurt us, they're not going to hurt anyone else." Lilah's breath caught, her mind racing. "Aaron, are you saying you've been going after them? Like some kind of vigilante?" Aaron stood abruptly, pacing to the window. "I didn't have a choice. The system wouldn't stop them, and I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do something." Lilah stared at him, torn between admiration and fear. "But why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you let me help?" "Because it's dangerous," Aaron said, turning to face her. "I didn't want to drag you into this mess. You've been through enough." She took a step closer, her voice soft but firm. "I can handle danger, Aaron. What I can't handle is being shut out. Whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to do it alone." Aaron's shoulders slumped, the weight of her words pressing down on him. "I've made choices, Lilah. Choices I'm not proud of. If you knew the whole truth—" He trailed off, unable to finish. Lilah reached out, placing a hand on his arm. "You're still you, Aaron. Whatever you've done, whatever you're facing, we'll figure it out. Together." Her words brought a flicker of hope to his weary expression, but as the room fell into silence, Lilah felt a strange, familiar sensation tugging at the edge of her awareness. It was the same pull she had felt at the museum, the inexplicable urge to move, to follow, to seek. Her brow furrowed, and she glanced around the room, half expecting to see something out of place. But there was nothing, only the faint hum of the city outside. "Lilah?" Aaron asked, noticing her distraction. She shook her head, forcing a smile. "It's nothing. Just tired, I guess." But the sensation lingered, subtle yet insistent. She knew it wouldn't go away until she heeded it. After this conversation, after she and Aaron had said what needed to be said, she would follow it. She had to. Eris and Jason, a dangerous proposal. The air was heavy with the scent of rain as Jason Black stalked through the narrow alleyways of the city, his movements swift and deliberate. A hunting knife hung at his side, its blade sharp and eager for use. Tonight's target was another name on his list, a dealer who had ruined lives with his poison. Jason's sharp instincts caught a faint sound behind him, a whisper of movement too soft to be human. He spun around, his knife in hand, but the alley was empty. "Who's there?" he demanded, his voice cutting through the stillness. The air shimmered, and Eris materialized in front of him, her golden gown catching the faint light. Her golden eyes gleamed with amusement as she leaned against the brick wall, examining her nails. My, she said, her tone light and teasing. "Aren't you a spirited one?" Jason didn't lower his knife. "What do you want?" Eris tilted her head, her smile widening. "Oh, I'm just curious. You've been making quite the name for yourself, haven't you? Following in the Wraith's shadow?" Jason's grip tightened. "I don't follow anyone. I do what needs to be done. Of course you do, Eris said, stepping closer. But don't you ever wonder? What if you could do more? Be more? Jason's eyes narrowed. What are you talking about? Eris's smile turned sly, her gaze locking onto his. I'm offering you power, Jason. Real power. Enough to make the Wraith look like a footnote in your story. Jason's skepticism was clear, but so was the flicker of intrigue. What's the catch? Eris laughed softly. No catch, darling. Just cooperation. Do as I ask when the time comes, and I'll make you unstoppable. Jason hesitated, his mind racing. The idea was tempting, intoxicating even, but he wasn't a fool. Why me? Because you're special, Eris said, her voice low and inviting. You have the fire, the drive, the willingness to do what others won't. I can help you harness it. Jason lowered the knife slightly, though his guard remained up. I'll think about it. Eris's smile deepened. That's all I ask. With a snap of her fingers, she vanished, leaving Jason alone in the alley, his thoughts swirling with possibilities. Lilah. The pull grows stronger. Later that night, as Aaron slept fitfully on the couch, Lilah sat in the dim light of the kitchen, staring at her hands. The pull was stronger now, almost unbearable. It wasn't just a sensation, it was a voice, a whisper in her mind. Follow. She stood, her heart pounding as she moved to the door. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had to go. The pull guided her, each step feeling both foreign and inevitable. The city was quiet as she walked, her breath visible in the cool night air. She passed familiar landmarks, her feet moving with purpose she didn't fully understand. Finally, she reached an old park, the moonlight casting eerie shadows across the overgrown pass. At the center of the park was a weathered fountain, its base cracked and dry. And there, nestled in the rubble, was a silver egg engraved with an eagle.